unveiling the secrets behind the laws of learning. The relatively narrow law of Einstein changed the understanding of space and time. There's a super-duper spaceship floating in space. Inside the ship, Einstein is grinning from ear to ear because he's discovered an incredibly fun secret. First off, this spaceship can zoom as fast as light. Wow. When the ship speeds up like that, things get weird. Time inside the ship slows down, like when you're playing a game and it starts to lag. And the space around the ship? It shrinks, kind of like squishing a long loaf of bread into a short one. Einstein also said that no matter how fast the ship goes, the light from a flashlight inside it still travels out at a regular speed, not faster or slower. It's like you're racing against the light, but the light always reaches the finish line first, never letting you win. The relatively wide law of Einstein describes gravity through non-time-time geometry. Think of the sun as a heavy bowling ball sitting right in the middle of that trampoline. What happens? The trampoline sags where the ball is, right? That's what the sun does to space. It makes a big dent because it's so heavy. Now, let's roll a marble, which we'll call Earth, across the trampoline. Instead of going straight, it starts to circle around the bowling ball. That's what Earth does. It orbits around the sun because of the dent the sun makes in space. Pretty neat, huh? Einstein said that this is how gravity works, and here's where it gets even wackier. Time also gets stretchy near these big dents in space. If you were near a super heavy object like a black hole, time would go slower for you than for your friends far away. So, if you hung out near a black hole for a while, which we don't recommend, you might come back to find your friends a lot older than you. The uncertainty principle of Heisenberg limits the certainty in quantum physical measurement. Imagine you have a super-duper tiny thing, like an electron. It's so small that it's playing hide-and-seek with us. Heisenberg's uncertainty principle says that if you try to find out exactly where this teeny-tiny electron is, it gets all shy and says, "Nope, you can't know exactly how fast I'm moving." And if you try to find out how fast it's zipping around, it giggles and hides, saying, "You can't catch me, and now you won't know exactly where I am." Heisenberg's principle is a funny rule in the quantum world, the world of atoms and particles, where things don't behave like our everyday stuff. It tells us that in this tiny world, you can't know everything for sure, like where something is and how fast it's moving at the same time. Big Bang Theory. Describe the origin of the universe. Universe as a giant balloon. Now, what if I told you this humongous balloon started from something tinier than a pea? That's right. A long, long time ago, we're talking about 13.8 billion years ago, everything in the universe was squished into a super small dot. This dot was so hot and so dense, it would have made the sun look like a cool cucumber. Then suddenly, boom! This tiny dot exploded with a bang louder than your biggest party popper. This explosion was so powerful it started stretching the universe out like a balloon. Stars, planets, galaxies, your favorite pizza joint, everything we see today was born from this cosmic kaboom. The Big Bang is like the ultimate birthday party for the universe. Darwin's evolutionary theory. Describe the evolution of natural species. Once upon a time, Charles Darwin hosted Nature's Grand Makeover Show, starring all creatures big and small. In this sensational show, animals rocked stylish coats, plants flaunted new fashion trends, and everyone paraded on the evolutionary catwalk. Darwin's magical touch turned simple beings into fabulous stars. The fashionista finches sported trendy beak styles, while the colorful chameleons changed outfits on the go. Slowly, the show unfolded, revealing how creatures adapted to their surroundings. Darwin's evolution adventure left a lasting fashion statement on the world, proving that in the grand show of life, only the shykest survive. The law of energy conservation. Energy cannot be generated or destroyed. Imagine energy as a super bouncy ball. This ball can bounce around from one place to another, but guess what? It never gets lost and nobody can make it magically appear or disappear. It's like the ultimate game of hide and seek where the energy is always found, no matter where it hides. This energy rule is like saying, what goes around comes around. You can't create new energy to power your toys, nor can you destroy the energy in them. It just changes from one form to another, like a superhero changing costumes. Cell theory. Describe the basic structure of all living things. Every living thing, from the tallest giraffe to the smallest ant, and even you, is made up of these tiny things called cells. But cells aren't just hanging out on their own. They stick together to form tissues, organs, and eventually, whole creatures like us. Imagine a cell as a Lego brick. One brick isn't much, but put lots of them together and you can build anything from a spaceship to a dinosaur. Cells are super busy, always doing something, eating, growing, dividing. It's like a non-stop party down there. And each type of cell has its own special job. Muscle cells, they're the bodybuilders. Brain cells, the smarty pants. Skin cells, the protectors. The law of preserving mass. Mass does not change in chemical reactions. Imagine you're a wizard with a cauldron, mixing up a magical potion. You toss in some dragon scales, a pinch of phoenix feathers, and a splash of mermaid tears. Stir it up and kaboom, you get a glittering, bubbling brew. Now here's the trick. No matter how crazy the explosion or how wild the potion, the amount of stuff you started with is the same as the amount of stuff you end up with. It's like if you break a chocolate bar into pieces, you still have the same amount of chocolate. It's just in smaller pieces. No extra chocolate appears, and none disappears. Maxwell equation, description of electromagnetic theory. Maxwell is like a wizard of the invisible forces, electricity and magnetism. He figured out how these two sneaky forces play tag with each other to create something super cool, electromagnetic waves. These aren't just any waves. They're like the waves a superhero would surf on. You have a magic wand that's electricity on one end and a magnet on the other. When you wiggle the electricity end, it sends out invisible waves. These waves are what make your radio sing, your microwave heat your popcorn, and even send pictures to your TV. Hubble's law. The universe is expanding. Hubble found out that the universe is stretching out in every direction. It's not like blowing up a balloon for a party, it's like a balloon that keeps growing forever. The farther away a galaxy is, the faster it seems to be scooting away. It's as if the galaxies are playing a game of space tag, and they're all it. So, what does this mean for us? We're like tiny ants on one of those raisins, cruising through the expanding cake of space. Molecular dynamics. Explain physical properties through molecular geometry. Each molecule is like a teenage dancer. When it's cold, these molecule dancers slow down, cuddling up close like they're huddling for warmth. That's when stuff gets solid, like water turning into ice. But when things heat up, these molecules start moving faster, spreading out like they're doing a crazy conga line across the dance floor. This is when things like water turn into steam. The hotter it gets, the wilder the molecular party. They move so fast and bounce so hard they can break free from each other. That's how liquids turn into gases. It's like the molecules say, it's too hot to stick together, let's scatter. Quantum theory, the basis of modern technology such as laser and quantum computers. In the quantum world, tiny particles like electrons and photons are the stars, but they're not just regular stars. They're like the superheroes of the microscopic world, each with their own special powers. Now these quantum superheroes help make some super cool tech stuff. Take lasers, for instance. They're like lightsabers made of super focused light, thanks to the quantum rulebook. Scientists have figured out how to get tons of photons to march in a straight line, and voila, you've got a laser beam. DNA detection, structure and function of DNA. Imagine that inside your body are tiny superheroes called cells that contain a treasure map called DNA. This magical map is like a spiral staircase, full of letters like A, T, C, and G. The staircase has pairs of letters, A with T and C with G, forming the magical words that tell your story. Each cell has its own copy, which helps it make and repair things in your body. When you are about to be born, cellular superheroes will examine the DNA map to create special spots inside your body. The law of conservation of charge. The total charge in a closed system is constant. And the kingdom of Electroland, there lived mischievous electrons, each with a special dance move called Zap Zap. Now, these electrons loved to party, but they had a secret rule, the Great Conservation Act. Picture this, electrons in a cosmic disco, bopping and zapping around, but the total electric dance power stays the same. It's like having a pizza party. No matter how you slice it, the cheesy goodness remains constant. The magic rule is simple. In Electroland, the total zap-zap energy is always conserved. The law of conservation of momentum moment. The momentum of the energy of the closed system is constant. Imagine you're at the carnival and on a colossal, color-changing Ferris wheel. Now, loves to spin, twirl, and pirouette, showcasing mesmerizing spin moves. But here's the catch, is a master of spin momentum, and never slows down unless someone else in the Ferris wheel kingdom picks up the pace. As twirls away, besties, and join the fun. They each have their own unique spins, but the total spin momentum wheel gang stays constant. This fantastic Ferris wheel adventure teaches you the law of conservation of spin momentum. In a closed system, like our Ferris wheel, the total spin momentum remains the same unless an external force.